So, hey everybody, and welcome back. I imagine a lot of you didn't think there would be new videos on this channel for quite some time, but yeah, here we are. We're back, we're trucking. So yeah, let's get going. I actually think I'm in the middle of a job here. Now, I guess I've got a lot of explaining to do during this video, but just for context of American Truck Simulator, if you haven't played it before, you absolutely should. This or Euro Truck Simulator, both fantastic games. Also, please be aware there might be a little bit of background noise. That's just the ambient sounds around my house. But yeah, American Truck Simulator, as the name suggests, you are delivering things around in a truck. It's probably a little bit more nuanced than that, especially when you get to the higher level, but essentially it's just fun, relaxing, no pressure kind of game. Perfect for some relaxing gameplay, I guess. So yeah, I was playing this previously on my channel, and this is actually the same save. So when I jumped back into this, it had been 3 years since I played this game, nearly 4 actually, and that's pretty much how long it's been since I uploaded a video to my channel as well, so goodness knows how many of you are actually going to be watching this. But I figured, now is a pretty good time for me to jump back in. I'll kind of explain as we're driving. I think I'm in the middle of a job, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I am. So we've got a 9-hour journey to get to wherever it is we're going. If I switched it outside, we're delivering some chems, as you can see. I own this truck. It was a nice surprise that after 4 years my cloud save was still active, which is really cool. Unfortunately, it wasn't on Euro Truck Simulator, which meant I had to kind of start from scratch there. So I might do some videos on the Euro Truck Sim as well, as I enjoy that just as much. And yeah, we can kind of see how that turns out as well, I guess. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. Those of you who were here before, welcome back. Those of you who might be new, welcome. To explain what this channel is to people, it's about relaxing gameplay. We call it ASMR. I think that's a very broad spectrum nowadays as to what that is. It can range from people tapping on microphones to all sorts of different things, weird and wacky role plays and all sorts of different stuff going on. I like to play video games and chat and relax. Sometimes it might be whispered, sometimes it might be soft spoken like this. It just kind of depends on what I think the game kind of is really, and how I'm feeling at that time. I do think that there are lots of different levels of ASMR and relaxation for people, and this might not be the deep sleep relaxation you might need, or it might well be that, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a drive across. I'm not actually sure where I am. Somewhere in America on the East Coast, as we take these chems to our destination and hopefully earn some good money doing it, so we can upgrade our truck further, etc, etc. So yeah, those of you who are returning, you're probably wondering, where on earth have you been? It's been 3.5 years since you recorded anything and uploaded anything. And yeah, you'd be absolutely right, it is, and it's been a very long time. And it's not really from a lack of wanting to do things, it's just been okay, I've got to pull in for a way. Where's that going to be then? Is it that way station that's all the way over here? That's a bit cheeky, isn't it? Usually it's right on the side of the road. I do need some fuel and rest anyway. Well, I don't need fuel, sorry, but I need to rest, so that works out fine. yeah, so it's been 3.5 years. Basically, like most people, people's circumstances changed over COVID, and while I did actually change my job, but not really change my job didn't change too much. I'm a bit worried about this truck. Okay, can I make it through there? Yeah, look at that. You could fit a barn through there. I might well be going the wrong way here, but in fact, I'm pretty sure I am, judging by the arrows up there. But that's okay. We'll make it work. I'm not the best trucker in the world. In fact, I'm pretty sure I would lose my license. But it worked, so that's cool. Yeah, circumstances changed during lockdown. It seems weird to say that because it feels like it was so long ago. But essentially where I was kind of recording in the spare bedroom, my wife was now working from home, so it didn't make any sense for me to have all of that space when she was essentially working in the lounge. So we kind of turned it into her office, and I kind of tried to continue to I gotta see where I need to park up actually to try and rest. There we go. We might now go to some nighttime driving actually, which would be cool. Yeah, it is. There we go, put the lights on. There we are. I wonder if I should get some fuel just to top up. I don't really need any, but we have got 456 miles to drive, so maybe it's for the best, I don't know. Yeah, so in that respect I was like, I'm not sure it makes sense to be using the spare bedroom. It made recording a lot more difficult. There's also a stage where PC gaming was becoming really prohibitively expensive. I think because of lockdown and mining and the Bitcoin surge, particularly graphics cards and things, and also the fact that production was slow due to COVID meant that things were becoming really expensive, and I just didn't really like the way it was going. So I actually took the decision to sell off my computer and everything and buy an Xbox, which to some may be heresy, but to me it did make sense. I was just gaming on the couch, I was enjoying it. Xbox is... Okay, I'm pretty sure it told me to go this way. So... Oh, I was on the wrong side of the road. Sorry, I'm from the UK, in case people don't realise. We drive on the left. In America, you drive on the right, so I'll take that violation. Yeah, so to cut long story short, sold my computer, bought an Xbox, and was happily gaming away on there. I did try to do some recording on there, but it just didn't really work out. It's quite fiddly, recording straight off a console. You kind of need to have it all set up and kind of be able to leave it set up, and it didn't really feel right. So I thought, there'll come a point where I'll want to come back and want to do stuff, but it wasn't really the time for me at that point. But I think that I think life changed a bit. I got married, and I just feel like sometimes, certainly with hobbies, which this always was a hobby, I never thought of it as a kind of future career or anything, but I was always just like, I think that sometimes hobbies come and go, and you change things and you do other things and stuff like that. I was always gaming, but the actual kind of recording of it, I did enjoy just playing games for myself a lot as well. But I think certainly over the last sort of 6 months, I've got a bit of an itch to kind of get back into doing this kind of stuff. So, and also PC gaming I was missing, because there were so many great indie games coming out, and also so many great PlayStation games which were coming out on PC, that I was like, this might be a good time to kind of jump back in and the market was snow zone. Okay, the market was stabilising. I think prices were becoming a lot more reasonable, and also the consoles are getting a bit old now. I had an Xbox Series X. It's good. It's great. We got a new TV to like an OLED TV, and it just didn't look quite where I wanted it to look, if that made sense. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get myself a PC, but just a kind of a low-level type PC where I can play indie games and stuff like that, and then do that kind of thing. And then I was genuinely surprised that quite a low-level PC that I think with some second-hand parts and some new parts I got for about £450. I was like, this is actually playing games better than the Xbox is. And so then I kind of started to kind of really look into it, and I realised that if I got a slightly better graphics card, I could genuinely be playing games at 4K at the max settings at 60 frames per second. And I was like, well, it doesn't make sense to own an Xbox anymore for me. So yeah, and then I thought, well, let's start recording again and see where we go. So yeah, that's a kind of an even longer story cut, still quite long. So so essentially I thought, let's kind of get back into it. Let's start recording again and seeing how we're doing, and see where YouTube is at in 2024. I think as well with it's so strange to think back when I was recording. It was only 3.5 years ago, but I don't think TikTok was even a thing then. And now TikTok is like a massive whole thing, and YouTube have brought in the shorts and stuff because they're trying to compete, and there's a lot more streaming on YouTube, and Twitch but maybe isn't where it once was in the kind of, I think 3.5 years ago Twitch was really massive, and now it's had a few kind of scandals, and perhaps people aren't quite so happy with it, and you've got other competitors now. It's really interesting how everything changes, and it's one of the reasons why I never ever considered this to be a career in any way. Oh, Nevada. Well, that answers the question of where we are. Because I just felt like the way everything changes so quickly. We saw it many years ago, if people remember, with the there was that issue with advertisers pulling out on YouTube, and overnight YouTubers not being able to pay bills and stuff when they could before, and all this kind of stuff. And you just feel like, I think in any job where you work for someone else, your hands are tied. They're your life is in the hands of some other people making decisions. But generally, when you work for large companies, it's in their interest to make sure that their business is doing well. When you, I guess, were you might have been a jobbing person on YouTube. You might have, 100,000 subscribers, and you might have been able to make a living off that, 5 years ago, fairly comfortably. I think overnight you suddenly weren't, and that felt really rough. So, yeah, I think I never saw it as being a career. I always looked at it as something I might dipping in and out of. I mean, I think I had over 2,000 videos I'd made before I kind of stopped. So to say I was, in terms of quantity, I think I was basically unmatched in my area. In terms of quality, maybe not so much. I don't have any sort of fancy setup now. I'm using a USB mic. I might do a little video on what my setup is and what I use and what I do. But it's absolutely nothing fancy. But I also feel that the way YouTube is, that it never really mattered too much about how your audio setup was or things like that, because the compression on YouTube would not really make anything matter anyway. So unless you were putting it onto your own kind of website or making things available for download at uncompressed, then I don't think it really made too much difference. How expensive your setup was. £100 would get you a long way. £1,000 wouldn't really make a huge amount of difference, in my opinion anyway. So it's good to be back. It is good to be back, trucking away at night. We've still got 346 miles to go, and we're 15 minutes into the video, so one thing I do generally do is make fairly longer form videos. Quite often I think my videos have gone over an hour. I think on this occasion we might see where we are and might try and get this job done in this video. I think that would be quite good, but it might be slightly shorter than an hour or something like that. I just need to get back in the groove of things, basically. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope there are some people here from the time before. I hope that people watch this video. I don't even know, they could have 10 views on it, but I definitely remember back to the time when I first started making this channel and videos, and the first sort of video I did with over 100 views, and was like kind of blown away, because 100 people is a lot. People look at things in the terms of millions now and things like that, and that is crazy, but you know what, 100 people is a lot. That's like a cinema screen. A mid-sized cinema screen is 100 people. So, oh look, there's a little man. So I always was very grateful for whatever views I got, and the funny thing as well is that in this 3.5 years, I've still been getting money from YouTube. Probably about once every 6 months, I'll get about 40 quid, something like that. And it always pops up in my bank account. I'm always like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, I always thought to myself, in terms of the videos, I was always thinking to myself, you know what? If you actually, sometimes I look at like slightly larger YouTubers, maybe the ones 100,000, maybe like 50 to 100,000, and think, oh, I wonder how they actually make money. But the reality is that a lot of people are still watching YouTube videos, and when you have kind of long series and things like that, they do tend to get rewatched, and people do get quite a lot of views on those still. So you'd be surprised actually that if you're still pumping out content, like you can do okay on a mid-sized channel if you supplement that with, I don't know, streams or other things like that. Then yeah, maybe there's an honest living to be made out of it. So we're in Winnemucca. I have no idea if that's the correct pronunciation, but here we are. There's a motel over there. If you've never played American Truck Simulator, I do recommend it. It's just a fun game, and you get that little kick out of making money in it, visiting new places, upgrading your truck, buying new trucks. You can have a whole kind of garage full of them and have other drivers drive them around and stuff. And it's one of those games where why can I not see you because of this? I'm guessing there's no one there. It's one of those games where there's no real kind of failure. And I realise I just knocked that sign over in my rearview mirror there. There's no real fail state in it, really. Even if you don't own your own truck, you can take jobs where they give you a truck to do the job and stuff like that. So it's quite nice in a modern era where sometimes video games take themselves a bit too seriously to just muck around driving a truck. But yeah, I don't know. I've got a few videos I've planned that I want to make. Maybe a couple of one-offs about things I've been playing or games I just really like. I think I will be jumping back into Skyrim. I recently downloaded a mod pack for that called Gates of Sovngarde, which I believe has 1,400 mods. That is 1,400 mods on it, and I've been playing that for a little bit. It's extremely good. It makes the game look better, but also the game plays differently. In what I think is a good way. It might not be to everyone's taste because it makes things a little bit more realistic. It's certainly a lot harder to begin with, and I think I'm up to about level 20 now, and things are starting to kind of even out, but the first sort of 5 or 6 levels were really tough, as in the level of your character, that is. Sorry, is that an aeroplane landing on the road? I've never seen that in my life. I mean, I've seen that on the news, but I've never seen that in this game. That's a pretty cool thing. I don't know how rare that is for that to have happened, but yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Okay, I think we're making pretty good progress now. Also, I nearly just started rolling back down that slope. As I said before, I'm not brilliant in this game. If you're looking for high level American truck, he says as he literally crashes. Oh God. Right, what are we doing here? Yeah, if you're looking for high level American Truck Simulator gameplay, you might have come to the wrong place. If you're looking for an English guy who doesn't know what side of the road to drive on, then you come to the right place. I've also managed to get myself stuck on this. Right, I got to be careful because I think this is quite volatile chemicals. Okay, not being funny, truck, but I'm pretty sure that's not touching. Okay, no, it's okay. You're all right. We're okay. Okay, good. Ooh. Right. Patience is what you need when driving a truck. Okay, let's get back in the cab so I'm not too disorientated. Okay. Right. Yeah, if you're looking for somebody who doesn't know how to drive a truck properly or what side of the road to drive on usually, then you are in the right place. Yeah, I was saying about Skyrim, so that's going to be a video. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima as well, which is a really good game, and I'll probably not do like a gameplay video on that. I'll probably do a walk around, kind of video on it. I might do some Minecraft. I haven't actually played Minecraft in probably 3.5 years. I've seen that updates have been coming like really thick and fast in it, but I haven't really kind of dipped my toes in. I think the last time I kind of did dip my toes in was when Microsoft kind of took over and bought Minecraft, which, was a long time ago. And I remember saying at the time, I think in a video, saying that I thought this would be a positive move because the rate of which it will expand and, get better will increase, which is, I think, quite true. I think they have really expanded it as a game. It's become quite massive now, in terms of the actual game. It was always, obviously, fan base wise, huge. But I do think that it's kind of tailed off a bit, Same way maybe something like Fortnite has in a way. It's still massive, obviously, but there was a point, I think, especially on YouTube, where it was almost like guaranteed money to put up Fortnite videos on your channel. It was never something I was interested in because I just don't really enjoy playing those sort of games. The Battle Royale genre never really appealed to me. I'm more of a kind of role-playing sim kind of guy, I think. I do like a good action RPG, and I don't mind a first-person shooter, but I'm very much more single kind of player gamer. As well, I think as well I might play some Elder Scrolls Online, which it wasn't the first video I ever made, but it was probably the first real series I ever made, was the Elder Scrolls Online. Also, Elite Dangerous was the first ever video I made, and I've jumped back into that a little bit and still got all my save and everything like that there, so that's pretty cool. They've done a few bits on there. As I said, I haven't played much of that recently because I haven't had a PC, but I know people have been a bit disappointed with how much it's updated it, how few updates there's been, and how buggy it's been and things like that, really. So, although I think at least people are a bit less furious with it than they are with something like Star Citizen or something like that, but that's a whole other story. But I think Elite has also started to bring in ships which you can buy with real money as well, which I don't know how I feel about that in a way. In some ways I get it, because as you get older your time may be more valuable than your money, so I kind of get it. But also and also Elite Dangerous, I've never felt like it was that much of a multiplayer game. It obviously is, but you can play it solo, and I generally do, so I don't really care if someone buys ships. I don't think it gives you that much of an edge. The fun of a game like that for me is saving up and then being able to purchase that ship that you really want to get. That's cool. And then we might play a bit of Euro Truck Simulator as well. But I'm also open to suggestions. I would love to do a series on Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend of Zelda, because the Breath of the Wild series was by far my biggest hit, if you like, if you could even call it that, on my channel. I think the first video in that series is the highest viewed video, but potentially might be. I haven't actually checked it that recently, but I loved that series so much, and I love Tears of the Kingdom as well. However, I don't have any way to record it, and it would be a bit of a kerfuffle, so I don't think I will do. Also, I'm kind of midway through a second playthrough of it at the minute, so I don't think I would want to do a third playthrough of it, if that makes sense. But I'm very much enjoying it handheld on the Switch at the minute, because I bought some, I think it's called Hori, which is a weird name, but it's like they make peripherals for Switch, and they've got these advanced Joy-Cons, if you were, with actually nice grips and stuff like that, so it actually makes it a pleasurable experience to play on the Switch handheld rather than Joy-Cons, which I think after a while they tend to cramp my hands up a bit. But and it's got such much nicer analog sticks and buttons and everything like that. It wasn't even that much money either, because I got it in the sale, I think. So looking forward to completing that for a second time, because I love the game. I could do a little thoughts video on it, to be fair, if people are interested in that, because I think it had some mixed reaction. I think generally, most people acknowledged it was a fantastic game, which did some really interesting new things, but I would also concede that in terms of the game itself, it perhaps isn't as big a leap forward as people might have wanted from Breath of the Wild. It kind of is like Breath of the Wild 1.5. The sky stuff, the kind of underground stuff is awesome, and kind of revisiting the map, even though it was only maybe 3 or 4 years after Breath of the Wild, gave me such a sense of nostalgia. I don't think I've ever felt in a video game before, and really was really super cool. You know, if you played a lot of Breath of the Wild and went into Tears of the Kingdom, I don't think anybody could say that it didn't feel super cool to kind of revisit this land in this kind of different, I don't know, timeline, if you like, or whatever it is. Zelda's complex. I don't try and understand it. I just enjoy it. Yeah, so it was a really cool game, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, otherwise, I think I've just been playing, you know, the same old games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla I played through, really enjoyed it. I know, again, people have very strong opinions on the Assassin's Creed series. I can honestly say that I've enjoyed pretty much all their games. Syndicate I loved, Black Flag 2, you know, I loved them all. There's a guy going to overtake me because I'm trying to go faster, but I've got a big, you know, trailer of chems on the back, so it doesn't quite work out like that. But yeah, really enjoyed Valhalla. Might do a little kind of walking video on that as well, maybe, with my thoughts on it as a game. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed, because I think Japan, well, people have called for Japan for a long time as being like a perfect Assassin's Creed game. I'm not sure I like going back to the dual protagonist again. But we'll see. I will play it, definitely, but I wouldn't say I'm as excited as I was with Valhalla or even Odyssey. I loved Odyssey as well. Whoa. That was a little bit hairy there, wasn't it? Okay, maybe we should slow down a little bit. Stop trying to take the corners at 70 miles an hour. Yeah, but I will play it. I'm looking forward to playing it. Star Wars Outlaws as well we've got coming up, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. Well, I say I'm looking forward to it. I feel like a lot of the previews have had very, very mixed kind of reviews on it, but we'll see. Definitely a game which I probably would like to do a video and talk about a bit is Starfield, because I'm a massive Bethesda fan. You know, have been since playing Morrowind, you know, and I love the Fallout series. I even really love Fallout 76. Love, obviously, Skyrim's probably my favourite game of all time. So I was very excited for Starfield. I don't think I'm ever the person who's particularly kind of massively hyped and think that something's going to be incredible. Probably Tears of the Kingdom was the most hyped game I've probably experienced, and I feel like in a way, because I knew how good Breath of the Wild was, and it was pretty much a very similar game, I kind of knew, you know, I was excited for Breath of the Wild 1.5. But Starfield, obviously a new IP, everything like that, I was a bit like, let's see what's going on here. And I completed the game. I didn't like the ending. I don't like the kind of multiverse thing at all, to be honest with you, which I know some people do like, and I appreciate that, but it just wasn't for me. And there are bits of it I really liked, and I did as I said, I did play through the whole thing. I probably put a good sort of 80 hours into it. I just have no passion to kind of go back to the game and do anything else in it. For me, it just doesn't have that replayability that something like a Skyrim does or a Fallout does, where you might find this new place out in your travels and you're exploring it. I think because it is so much like fast travel everywhere in a way, with your ship and stuff, and then there's only certain points on the planet, so there's no kind of discovery of something really of any significance. So in my mind, I would put it a kind of a 7 out of 10 in terms of how I experienced it. And I think that for some people, I think they would really love it. I really liked the gameplay. I really liked a lot of the characters. A lot of the kind of story missions are really good. It was quite challenging at times. It was interesting to kind of upgrade your ship and stuff like that. That was really cool. There's loads of really good things in it. But for me, I just think that I don't know. I think once you get to a certain point in the game, the xenomorph stuff was really cool. I really liked those sort of missions. It was really interesting. But it just kind of felt like there wasn't enough of that stuff. Wasn't enough interesting stories going on in the game. So, yeah, and listen, I'm one to say that if I spend, £60 on a game and I get 80 hours worth of gameplay out of it, I'm very happy with that. I think that's good, and I enjoyed it. But from a Bethesda kind of point of view, it's not going to be in my top 10 probably Bethesda games of all time. So that's probably another video, isn't it? Top 10 Bethesda games of all time. But it's solid. Maybe like a Starfield 2 could be super cool. I think the problem with Starfield was No Man's Sky, and the type of freedom that game allowed you kind of set a new sort of benchmark for space games and what people expected, and people no longer think cutscenes to take off and land and stuff like that is acceptable. They want the whole shebang and experience of it all, and that might not be possible yet in a game like Starfield. And I find it interesting that Todd Howard was like, I wanted to make this game for so long, but we didn't have the technology, and now we do. But I actually disagree. I still don't think they've got the technology yet to do that, because if you had a game like No Man's Sky, and you could see what that could do, but you couldn't live up to that, then you don't have the technology yet to keep up, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to be coming to an end soon. We're only 6 miles away. Looks like this is the town we're delivering to. Tonopah? Tunapah? I don't know. Yeah, so it's been nice to kind of chat and truck. I haven't done this for a while, so excuse me if I'm rusty. I also have terrible geography of the United States as a whole. I roughly know, because of American Truck Simulator, where some of the states are, but I've never heard of any of these places. What I will say is that I think that Euro Truck Sim, American Truck Sim, the levels of graphics and detail now are so good compared to earlier versions of the game. It's really good now. I know it's never going to be AAA levels of, reality, but, I think they've done such a good job with this game, and with Euro Truck Sim as well. I'm so excited to get some of the updates in Euro Truck Sim, and there's so many in American Truck Sim I don't have, the different states. I think I'm 4 states behind on American and 2 map packs in Euro behind where I was. I think in Euro it's like Croatia area and Spain, which is which are both ones which I would love to see. And in America, I know Texas is one which I would really like. And as I said, there's at least 3 or 4 others. I've got a police car behind me, so I've got to make sure I stick to the speed limit, or else I will get a fine. And it would be quite frustrating to get a fine when I am 2 minutes away from my destination. Hello, officer. Hello. It's funny that, like, in this game, a police car can just sense when you are like 3 miles an hour over the speed limit just by looking at your truck, and will fine you accordingly. This sort of dystopian state that we live in. Right. Where am I delivering to a truck store? I am. To a petrol station, sorry. Oh, I'm delivering gasoline, aren't I? Oh. They don't even have a where do you need it, but we'll do a let's... Oh, God. Okay. Well, here's a bit of comedy value for everybody as I try to park this up. I have genuinely never delivered to a petrol station before. This is actually pretty cool. It makes total sense. If you don't know the end of American Truck Sim, you get a choice to either park it in a way which is usually quite difficult but gives you more XP. XP allows you to get better jobs, essentially higher paying jobs as you level up. Or you can do a thing where you kind of play it a bit safe, or you can just skip the parking altogether if you don't wish to torture yourself. Oh God. I always struggle with parking. To be fair, in real life I struggle with parking as well, so... I don't know what I'm doing. Right, okay. I feel like this... Right, okay. I think it's the going backwards business that I struggle with. This might allow it. That feels harsh. Okay. There's an intense amount of concentration on my face right now, if you could see me. I apologise if you're currently screaming at the monitor telling me what to do, but I don't know. I'll get there in the end. Do you know what I mean? Ooh. It feels like that's nowhere near where the actual parking space is, but I will take it. So, for that particular trip, we made $80,000, which is really quite good. And I'm nearly at level 12, which is great. So, yeah, next time I will take another job from where we are, Tonopah. I always look at what's got the best, like, cost per mile, because that's essentially your time in a way. I do like sometimes just to look what's got the best price. Oh, that's the lowest cost, sorry. 116,000. That's pretty good. Where's that? That's from there, which is not too far from us, all the way up to Portland in Oregon. 116,000. What is it? It's gasoline again. Oh, dynamite. That would be fun. Yeah. So where have I got at the minute? On we go to the map. I'll show you. So we're there. So all the yellow bits are the bits I've driven. So I haven't driven that much, have I? And in terms of states, it would probably be easier for me to look on the quick job So we've got California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. So these ones are the ones I don't have. So Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming, Montana, sorry. I've got Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, California, Arizona. So they've got a good chunk of the United States. I don't know if they'll ever finish this game, or what they, from what I would consider finishing, would be the entire United States. But maybe one day. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.